Mike Brown, you are the next head coach of the New York Knicks. It is officially official. The Knicks have their guy, and Mike Brown is the next head coach of this great organization. That's why you subscribe to the channel, because when the Knicks make a move, we make a video. Hit that subscribe button. Turn those notifications on so you never miss a thing when it comes to the New York Knicks. We literally were about to push a video out about the Knicks zeroing in on Mike Brown, but right before I clicked publish, the news broke, and we got our guy. Yo, what's going on, everybody? You're watching Knicks Now by Chat Sports. I am your host, Marshall Green, and we got a head coach. It took 4 weeks, and it seemed to be an extensive search for Leon Rose and Gerson Rosas, Worldwide West, and Brock Aller, but they have zeroed in and officially hired their guy. Mike Brown is going to be the next head coach for the New York Knicks, and now we can officially say it. We got a coach. It's pretty pumped. I'm pumped. Look, everyone told me, Marsh, the Knicks did not have a plan. Well, it seems like they had a plan. Brown interviewed for the second time yesterday with the New York Knicks, and James Dolan was in attendance. We did that video yesterday. Again, why you subscribe. And when you get to that final interview or second interview and head honcho is there, it usually means you are moving in the right direction, and the Knicks have officially hired their guy. And there's a lot of things to like about this hire. He is extremely experienced. He's coached some of the best players in the NBA. He's learned from some of the best coaches in the NBA. I actually tweeted this out back on June 11th prior to Mike Brown really being named in the head coaching search for the New York Knicks, saying there is a coach that is available that recently had the #1 offensive rating, maximized a two-man game, NBA Finals experience, learned from great coaches, coached some of the best players of all time, and has strong defensive principles. This tweet, it was about Mike Brown, our new head coach. And then days later, he emerged as a candidate to be that guy. And I don't really take any of these things lightly. When you compare his resume to the other resumes of other candidates, his stuck out, man. He learned under elite head coaches. He spent time coaching under Greg Popovich. He spent time coaching under Steve Kerr. And when you talk about two coaches you want to learn the game from, these are at the top of the list. Say what you want about Steve Kerr. He's a 4-time NBA champion. I don't have to say anything about Greg Popovich. We know what he has done, and I wish he could still do it, and all best wishes to him and his health going forward. Mike Brown is a 4-time NBA champion as an assistant coach. Will he be able to become a 1-time NBA champion as a head coach? Because that's what we're looking for here with the New York Knicks. What's your one-word reaction to Mike Brown being the Knicks head coach? What is your one-word reaction? Comment that down below for me in the comment section. For me, there's a couple. Justified, earned, but safe is the one that sticks out the most to me. Mike Brown is a good coach in this league. I don't know if I can say he is a great coach in this league. And to be honest, there weren't really any great coaches available for the New York Knicks to go out and hire. And not to continue to compare every coach we have to Tibbs going forward, but you fired Tom Thibodeau, a coach that had an extremely high floor. Mike Brown has a high floor. The question becomes, can Mike Brown elevate the ceiling to a spot that Tom Thibodeau could not? Look, he's been in the NBA a long time. He's had a lot of experience coaching as an assistant coach and a head coach. From 1997 to 1999, he was a Washington Wizards assistant coach. He then spent a couple of years alongside Greg Popovich with the San Antonio Spurs. He was then an assistant with the Indiana Pacers. Then he became the head coach for the Cleveland Cavaliers, learning to coach a young superstar, Hall of Famer in LeBron James, getting them to the NBA Finals, and beating the Detroit Pistons, a really good team, an all-time team on the way there. Then it didn't really work out with the Los Angeles Lakers. He then went back to Cleveland and won way too many games for how bad that roster was. Then he said, you know what? I'm going to go be an assistant after taking a year off, sitting on the bench of Steve Kerr and winning not one, not two, but 3 NBA championships, coaching Steph Curry, coaching Kevin Durant, coaching Klay Thompson and Draymond Green. And then he goes to the Sacramento Kings, and he does a hell of a job there. He does not get enough credit for the turnaround that he really got on the pavement for the Kings. He had them in his first season there, the #1 offensive rating in the NBA. What does that mean? His team scored more points per 100 possessions than anybody else in the NBA. What do the Knicks need? A coach that can elevate their offense. But he's not just strictly an offensive coach. You see with the Cleveland Cavaliers, he had them at the 3rd best defensive rating, the 7th best defensive rating, the 5th best defensive rating, the 8th best defensive rating. So he has had success as an offensive coach and a defensive coach. And what that says to me is he has a way of putting his players in a spot to be successful. His roster shapes who he is as a head coach, and that is what the New York Knicks are looking for. It was Thibodeau's way or the highway. And look, that worked out for a lot of players. Isaiah Hartenstein became his best version of himself. Jalen Brunson, Julius Randle, Josh Hart, Mitchell Robinson, Dante DiVincenzo. The list goes on and on. But I like the idea of having a coach who puts his players in spots to maximize their talent. So he could be an offensive coach if you want him to. He could be a defensive coach if you want him to. He's got a lot of experience. He's got a hell of a resume. And he has the identity of his team being shaped around who his team is. And that is the sign of a good head coach for me. Being able to maximize your players, even if it goes a little bit against the grain of your ideas of how the game should be played. I got a couple more thoughts about Mike Brown being the next head coach of the Knicks, but I want you guys to take advantage of this deal. The deals will not last forever. There is some awesome New York Knicks merch on sale at chatsports.com/Knicks sale. Chatsports.com/Knicks sale. Get your stuff on sale today. I think what he did with the Kings was really nice. Like we talked about, he was a defensive-minded coach with the Cleveland Cavaliers. But he goes to Sacramento, takes a look at the roster, sees Domantas Sabonis there, and says, if the Kings under my watch are going to be great, it's going to be with Sabonis being maximized. So what did he do? He put a non-defensive center as a full-time 5. Turn him into a playmaking hub. Turn him into an all-star. Turn him into one of the best stat-stuffing pieces in the NBA. And he had De'Aaron Fox playing at an elite level, and he became a superstar in this league. When I watch Mike Brown coach offense under the Kings, it's about pace, player, and ball movement. And I don't strictly just mean getting up and down, pace, running and gunning like the Sacramento Kings. I mean pace in the half court. And that's important. How many times have we watched the Knicks over the past couple of years, people just standing around, getting front row seats, watching Jalen Brunson cook? I'm talking about ball movement, player movement, side to side, screens off balls, like you're passing, you're cutting, or you're screening. That's what you do in a Mike Brown offense. I'm excited about this. I think a lot of Knicks fans should as well. It's good stuff. I'm just going to read a couple of tweets from the timeline. Ian Begley says the Knicks are closing in on hiring Mike Brown. Brown met with owner James Dolan yesterday. Deal's expected to be finalized soon. He's the 32nd head coach of the New York Knicks. James L. Edwards saying he confirmed the Knicks have offered Mike Brown their head coaching job. Two sides expected to finalize a deal soon. Mike Brown with a 454 and 304 career record and 2 Coach of the Year awards. Tom Thibodeau has 2 as well. Tibbs may have 3. I think it's 2 though. Anything else I'm seeing on this? That's what we got. That's what we got. What we got is our next head coach. If you're excited and you want to see Mike Brown win the Knicks a championship for the first time since 1972, 1973, hit that thumbs up icon. Make sure you are following me on social media. The first spot you would have heard about the news is on my platforms. So give me a follow over there, and let's go Knicks.